Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory going to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem and Dash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going out in the streets teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. To you, I say shalom and shalom to you, very few a few sisters out there listening and learning. It's your brother Nayap, and I'm back with another news update. It's a lot of floods, a lot of shit that's going on in Cali. Floods, Cali, and Philly. All right, floods, Cali, Philly. It might be a little bit of some Iranian shit in here, maybe not, but it's just most of that. All right, hold on. So this is for fair use. This Tucker Carlson video, I get through like a bit of it. I'm not gonna go through like the whole thing of it, but so yeah, fair use. And this is for educational purposes only.
Confirmed is a real person. I didn't believe it at first. Congressman Randy Fine of Florida, and he said this the other day on Fox News last week, quote, "In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here in Gaza. There is something deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated." So we're going to nuke Gaza because of its culture. We're going to kill everybody because we don't like the culture, which, by the way, lots of Christians in Gaza, Muslims in Gaza.
Just innocent people in Gaza of all kinds.
Well, of course, but like to say there's some like Gazan culture that's cohesive, it's like, what? But we're going to kill them all because we don't like their culture. And so I didn't believe that was real. I didn't really think he was a member of Congress. I texted a friend.
He's newly elected, like in the last, he filled I think it was Mike Waltz or Matt Gaetz's seat, one or the other.
It was Waltz.
Waltz, yeah.
So I texted a friend of mine in Congress, is this really a member of Congress? Yes. It's like, I don't even know what to say to that, but that, first of all, it's evil. But how can you say something like that and not get expelled from Congress or the Republican? How can that person be a member of the Republican Party? I don't understand.
So let me say two things about that. And yes, Randy Fine is very real. I've been watching him for a while now, ever since Trump endorsed him as this America First candidate. He had served in the Florida Senate, or in the Florida legislature, maybe the Florida House, but one of those two bodies. He was a member of the Florida. DeSantis hates him. He hates DeSantis. He has a feud with DeSantis, and his entire political existence is centered around a foreign country, which is Israel, not the United States. He barely ever talks about the United States.
So that's America first?
Right, America first. So let me just say two things. One is this broader point, and then I want to get the more important one. I started noticing this in 2006, 2007, and I know you hear this all the time. World War II was one of the worst things that has ever happened to humanity. And the reason it happened was because you had these massive military powers with these new technologies that had never previously been used in war, engaged in mass destruction, and a madman who was leading and had started the war for all kinds of reasons, and you had the world's most powerful factions throughout the world destroying each other in the most inhumane way, to the point where we not only used nuclear weapons, but after the war was over, we decided we never wanted to have a war like that again. We imposed by convention, we agreed to all sorts of limits through the Geneva Convention and all these other treaties and conventions, ways to make sure that what happened in World War II never happens again. The people who got blamed for it, it was a form of victor's justice at Nuremberg, were put to death. But at the same time, the Nuremberg trial, the judges and prosecutors said the only way the principles that we're pronouncing here at the Nuremberg trials will have any value as anything other than victor's justice is if the principles we're enunciating apply to all countries in the future, including the countries presiding over the tribunal. It was meant to enunciate universal principles that all countries agreed to on Earth because it was so inhumane. Like, it just stripped everybody of their humanity. And yet, so every time we have a new war or someone wants to sell a new war in the United States, the only historical framework that they'll use as if they only studied one thing in high school and college. Like the only thing they know is World War II. And either you're on
And
the
they
side
know
of
nothing
Churchill.
about World War II,
No, but they know, all they know is
the
that
Wikipedia version.
Churchill is good because he went and fought, and Chamberlain is bad because he tried to use diplomacy. I wrote an article about this when, like, 6 months after I started writing about politics in 2006, how everything had superimposed on it was the framework of World War II, and you are either Churchill or Chamberlain, and you choose one or the other. And neocons to this very day, by which I mean people who always want the United States to go to war in the Middle East and elsewhere, the minute you say you're not interested in war, you're Chamberlain. And the minute that you want to go to war, you're heroic Churchill. And so the idea that because we use nuclear weapons.
So I think the world is turning against Israel not because of a painted picture. I think it's because of the reality. I think it's because of what they're seeing.
They're going to take the Gaza Strip because the Bible fulfills the fact that one day Gaza is going to be repopulated with nothing but Jews. Again, you can't.
Well, it's going to be repopulated back to the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, not by these white people. Not even white people, they're actually red. Biblically, they are known as the Edomites and Amalekites. They will not be in that land anymore. So the Lord is coming back to destroy them. All right. And they're going into slavery. But that's the fact that they can't see because, hey, they're not the prophets.
Get around that fact.
The Jews, though, but see, this is where you're going to get into a debate. I would bet you, if you did a DNA test for all the Palestinians and a DNA test for all the Israelis, the Palestinians have more actual genetic ties to that landmass than the Israelis, who are mostly Eastern European.
And if we believe that, which I don't, then we're going to have to say, okay, then God doesn't know what he's doing, and the people that are moving
I think God knows what he's doing.
are foolish.
Here, let me give you a little anecdotal evidence here. This is every prime minister of Israel. First one, David Gurion, real name David Grun, born in Poland. Next one, Mashi Sheret, real name Mashi Shurtok, born in Ukraine. Then Levi Eshkol, real name Levi Shkolanik, born in Ukraine. Next one, Yigal Alan, real name Yigal Paikovich, born in the Ottoman Empire, Palestine. Next one, Golda Meir, real name Golda Mabovich, born in Ukraine. Next one, Yitzhak Rabin, first one actually born in Jerusalem, or called mandatory Palestine time, but first one to be born in actual Jerusalem. Next one, Manichin Begin.
You see what they don't understand is that that land before the Hebrew Israelites got over there was the Canaanites' land, but that land was given to us by, the Lord, by the Most High. All right, and they can't seem to understand what's going on, you know. Well, the thing is, you know, our people went into captivity, all right, and you know, other nations came to that land and started to defile that land. So now you got these other nations thinking that that's their land and it's not their land. You know, all you got to do is just go and read the Bible, man, you know. But they can't understand none of this.
Real name Mazi Chekslaw Begum, born in Ukraine. So I can go on and on and on. Almost every single one of them has a fake name, and nearly every single one of them is actually from Eastern Europe. For the sake of the time here, I'm not going to go on.
Yeah.
Even Netanyahu's real name is Mylakovsky. Now, granted, he was born in Tel Aviv. His name is Mylakovsky. So how do you explain that?
Well, I explain it simply by, number one, I don't know about their name changes, but what I do know is God says he's going to regather the Jewish people from every region.
Well, the tribe of Judah is a bloodline. All right. And it's not just a tribe of, it's not, everybody keep on thinking it's just Jews. It's not the southern kingdom. It's not just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay. You got Issachar, which is the Mexicans. You got, you know, you got Zebulon. You know, you got Gad, which is the Native Americans. You got the Seminole Indians. All right. So it's like it's a lot that's going on. You know, the Latin tribes, so-called Latin tribes, because they put the name on our people. They posted that's originally where they came from. All right, but when the two kingdoms split, when the northern kingdom went into captivity first. All right, underneath the Assyrian captivity, and therefore they went into they were spread across and then they was the ones that popped up here first up in America, and then later the southern kingdom fell, and then that's when we started to get sold into slavery. So no, that land do not belong to none of these Caucasian people. That's why it's hell going on in the land. Because the proper people, proper judges aren't over there.
Every nation on the planet.
They'll never get that.
I want to show you something, and because I know what you're thinking. I know what you're probably thinking right now. You're thinking, oh, sure, Rick Sanchez, of course. What you're probably talking about is one of those obscure state laws, like the one they have in Alaska that says if you accidentally kill a moose, you have to eat it. That's actually a law in Alaska, by the way. There's one in Georgia that says it's illegal to sleep on a boat for more than 30 days. True. No, we're not talking about an obscure law. What we're talking about is an Israeli loyalty oath law that is becoming so common in the United States, it's now pervasive. Take a look at the map. You see the red states? See all of those red states? 26 states have enacted this loyalty oath legislation. And let me show you the other one, the navy blue ones, the blue ones you see there. That's where this law is now pending. So 26 acted on, passed, 13 pending, only 11 states, the light blue ones you see there, the baby blue or the light blue, those are the ones where you can boycott Israel and, criticize Israel if you want. Again, look, it bears repeating. There is no such law keeping you from denouncing or boycotting the United States of America, or even advocating causes that harm the U.S. economically. But there are laws from doing that against Israel. Curious.
And you know why? Because they doing everything they can. All right, they doing everything they can to take our people, put them in captivity. This ain't nothing but the Roman Empire 2.0. All right, that little horn that's in Daniel. All right, this ain't nothing but that. All right, so what these motherfuckers is doing, these Edomites, these so-called white people, and these Amalekite, all right, these JOOSs, small hats, all right, big nose, small hats and big ass ears looking like literally rats, all right, to be coming out the fucking tunnels and shit out of New York and doing all kinds of wicked ass shit, spitting on people and killing all these different nations and thinking they on top. Well, they're not the chosen people. Okay, none of this belongs to them. Nothing. All right, but the thing is that the Lord got us going through what we need. Got us going through our curses. Of course, we still underneath the curses. So until the Lord come back and save us and put us into that land. But let me rewind this just a little bit. Hold on. Everybody's realizing that these motherfuckers are some devils, man. They taking all these tribes. They putting the northern tribe first. It's always when it's fucking with people, it's always the northern tribe. The northern tribe go first, and then it's the southern tribe. All right, northern tribe, they put them around alligators and do all these things, got incendiary fucking things and shit. And then they gonna try to force them to work on the fields compared to just it's wicked. And then they killing all our people off. And it's just a lot that's going on, right? And then with that, it's going to come towards, the Southern Kingdom, which is the so-called Negroes, Jamaicans, and Haitians.
From denouncing or boycotting the United States of America.
But they're trying to cover up their tracks because they know they're not the chosen people. Job 20:5. Let me read it right quick. just right quick. I know I'm just now sipping, so give me 2 seconds, because I don't want to get way deep up into it and then 2 seconds, y'all. This is Job chapter 20 and verse 5. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. All right. All right, they only got but so much time, man. Okay. Let me get this right quick. This is Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. They even made what people ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You know, they made him a so-called white man. You know, so they're trying to cover up all their tracks. And by them trying to cover up all their tracks, they're pushing out these different laws while these other events is happening, like these floods is happening. They got the Epstein. They trying to keep you all distracted while they're pushing out these bills. So then it just come a time when you just be seeing motherfuckers just be getting rounded up and thrown. And that's why you got all these motherfuckers coming out and stealing motherfuckers. But you gonna see later on in the video.
Or even advocating causes that harm the U.S. economically.
And what's also crazy is that now you got white, because this is white on white shit. So now you got so-called white on white. It's really Edomites versus Edomites. So now you got the regular old Edomite who's in America, all right? And these regular old Edomites can't talk shit about other Edomites who's claiming to be the chosen people. Otherwise, they're getting doxxed. All right, doxxed basically like you getting like your location, like, you know, your location is there where they can come and do whatever they want to you, which they can come and do whatever they want, whenever the fuck they want to whoever they want to, unless it's the men of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That now that's in the Lord's hands. All right, but it's just showing you that this devil. All right, let me grab this. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. I want to grab this. This is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go down crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that in the rust have not been altogether wiped away. And we're seeing basically what's going on with him. You know, he got this rust, and we're seeing it. We're seeing like all these lies and all this bullshit. And you know, he can only keep up for so long with this. So my bad for making this long, but it's just like, what the fuck, man? You know, and eventually, you know, it's basically like, hey man, I can see that they possibly gonna be trying to ban the Bible. You know, it's gonna be like if you ever watched the Book of Enoch, you know, it's crazy, man. But you know, we in the midst of like this Jacob's trouble right now, so it's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers, you know, getting picked up and shit.
Well, a Russian politician has been found dead with an apparent gunshot wound hours after he was unceremoniously fired by a presidential decree, according to Russian investigators, who said their main theory is suicide. The former transport minister, Roman Starovoyt's body was recovered from his personal car outside of Moscow on Monday. The Kremlin gave no reason for the transport minister's dismissal, but denied it was down to a lack of trust. But it came amid a serious bout of disruption to air travel in Russia linked to the Ukrainian drone threat. Previously, Starovoyt had been governor of Kursk, the Russian region where Ukrainian forces later staged a humiliating military incursion, and where he had been linked to security failures.
Thank you, Reverend Hagler. Our final speaker of the day is Rabbi David Feldman.
Thank you very much. We are standing here in front of the...
No, as you can see on the screen. Let me just read Jeremiah 14:2. I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm just going to read the scripture. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. It says, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is going up. Do that person look black on the screen? Just claiming that they from the tribe of Judah? Nope, I don't think so. Let me get this right quick. 2 seconds. I'll let this play.
White House while Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, is visiting here. This happens after 21 months of genocide in Gaza, where tens of thousands of innocent men, women, and children are being mass murdered, and little children are being starved to death.
Because they're not supposed to be in that land. This is Acts chapter 13, verse 1 to go with that last scripture. Now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, all right, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Well, you know, the southern kingdom is the Levitical priesthood, all right. I just wanted to say that, you know. But this is Acts 13:1. Now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger, all right, and Lucius of Cyrene. All right, so there you go. All right, these people, have this man on the screen ever been called the N-word? No. Interesting.
This is about time to stop. The world is waking up already for this.
But I do want to say this, of course, for educational purposes only. The man that's on the screen and stuff like that, they see both sides of, like he's saying, like, people waking up and blah 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 and all this other stuff. But you're still, you can't. That's like me waking up and saying that I'm a so-called Japanese man, or I'm a Chinese man. I'm obviously not a so-called Japanese man. Or that's like me waking up and saying I'm Hawaiian. I'm obviously not a Hawaiian man. So, but you got these so-called white people that's going around and claiming that they're the actual true black people of the Bible. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. So yeah, it is people waking up. It's people waking up, and everybody's looking at you like, hey, like, the game is over with, you know?
Entire time, and it is time for the rest of the world to wake up. We as Jewish people, when we are seeing what's happening, when all of this is happening supposedly in our name, this is embarrassing to us as a people, and this is a desecration of our religion when the Jewish religion is being misused.
And they the ones who came up with that. They came up with this this fake J religion. All right, the Bible is not about a religion. All right, it's about a chosen people that the Lord has chosen to rule over the planet Earth. All right, and everybody want to fit that role, but you can't. All right, You just can't. Okay? So it's like you go to like valet parking or something like that. Or not even that, man. It's like you walk into a restaurant and you're eating your dinner, and then you got, you obviously so-called Jamaican or Trinidadian, right? That'd be the tribe of Benjamin. Then you got somebody that's they come to you, they're Asian, and they be like, "What? Really?" Like, you know that they're Chinese. They even say that they're, they don't say it, but they like, yeah, that's crazy. They got chinky eyes and everything else, right? And they be like, man, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin too. Like, you would kind of look and be like, no the fuck you're not. Like, bro, you're obviously a Chinese man. You know what I'm saying? It's so fucking obvious, man. And it's just, that's why, of course they're going to come for the prophets, but it is what it is. The Lord going to protect his elect.
To justify all these crimes. Netanyahu comes here supposedly representing all Jews, and he wants to make a statement that if you oppose crimes he is committing, then you are opposing the Jewish people, which ends up being anti-Semitic. This is misleading, and all of us, the world, has to understand. We have to know better. This is nothing about anti-Semitism. This is about crimes taking place. Benjamin Netanyahu, a war criminal, wanted by the International Court. As was said before, he doesn't belong in the White House, he belongs in The Hague. According to Judaism, all of this is wrong. Killing, stealing, oppressing an entire people, these are not only crimes in international law, these are crimes in Judaism. We have to remember that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism in any way. Judaism and Zionism is not the same.
You can't say that anti, of course you can't say the anti word, but you cannot say that I'm not Shemitic if I come from the line of Shem and I don't come from the line of Ham. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Japheth, all right, is like the Hawaiians, Somalians and shit like that. Not Somalians, Hawaiians. All right. And then you got Ham. Ham is the Africans, the Canaanites, the Egyptians, Libyans. All right. That's not our people. We come from Shem. All right. Abraham had many sons. You know what I'm saying? Out of Shem comes Abraham, comes Moab, comes the so-called white people, comes the Negroes, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans. So you can't just be one person that's claiming this line and then nobody else can claim it. That's complete fucking bullshit, because when you go to the scriptures, it tells you the bloodline of everybody. And it tells you what these people look like. You can't keep claiming to be a people that you're not. It's ridiculous. I don't give a fuck how much they try to be like peace and all that bullshit.
Judaism is a religion, while Zionism is a purely political movement, should never be conflated.
Troops are now moving down Wilshire. They're headed towards central LA right now. You can see lots of reinforcements and a huge presence right now of troops. This is very big. Wow, this is really big. You can see, this is a huge presence.
Frankly, it is outrageous and un-American that we have federal armed vehicles in our parks when nothing is going on in the parks. It's outrageous and un-American that the federal government seized our state's National Guard. It's outrageous and un-American that we have U.S. Marines who are trained to kill foreign soldiers overseas deployed in our American city. So here's the truth. There's no plan other than fear, chaos, and politics. Home Depot one day, a car wash the next, armed vehicles and what looked like mounted military units in a park the next day. What happened to the criminals, the drug dealers, the violent individuals?
I just want to read this. Going along with kind of like the last video when I was talking about the, that land don't belong to them. This is Lamentations 5 and 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. I'm going to read that again. It says, our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Look who in the fucking land, man. Them ain't people of God.
Who were in the park today were children. And I have to tell you, spending many years traveling into conflict areas, it's the way a city looks before a coup. The administration is continuing what I have framed as an all-out assault, a military assault on our city.
What a disgrace what's happening in MacArthur Park. What theater. On the 6-month anniversary, after all, of these fires, that's the message from the polluted heart of the President of the United States. The polluted heart of Stephen Miller. Those National Guard men and women that were out there protecting people are now being used as political pawns. Out there on horsebacks running through soccer fields in the middle of the day. Timed around announcements and events like this. It says everything you and I need to know about the state of mind of the President of the United States and this administration.
Salió madre, nos cayó la librecito, mire. Aquí están cazando dos amarillos aquí.
See, this is Northern Tribe. This it's a car. Probably, you got probably like a little bit of Guatemalan, Venezuelans up in there. You know what I'm saying? They doing somebody's house right now. Somebody trying to get their house done. And here comes some fucking oinks. Esau Edom gotta come out. He gotta come out of power soon, man. This shit keep happening to our people, and once the Southern kingdom start to get, riled up and shit like that, man, it's gonna be real fucking ugly out here, man.
Look at these guys.
Believe it or not, you got these Edomites, which some of them may be Jake, but you got these Edomites. And they not standing for this shit. They not with this. But hey, it is what it is.
On these armored horses, this looks like nothing I've ever seen. They're literally just sweeping the park for no reason. Staging on the corner of Wilshire and Alvarado. Again, a neighborhood park where people play soccer in LA. This is nothing more than intimidation tactics. Look at these guys on these armored. This is so dystopia. This is the road that bisects MacArthur Park. These are Stryker military vehicles pulling up. There are countless numbers of DHS, CBP, National Guard. I cannot believe I'm seeing this. This is a neighborhood park in Los Angeles. This is so dystopian. This is so dystopia. This is the road that bisects MacArthur Park. These are Stryker military vehicles pulling up. There are countless numbers of DHS, CBP, National Guard. I cannot believe I'm seeing this. This is a neighborhood park in Los Angeles. This is so dystopian. This is so dystopia.
Donald Trump nos anda buscando, mira. Aquí estamos nosotros, no pares. Los latinos no salen, carnal. Mira,
Hold on, I got another scripture, y'all, that came to mind. I got y'all. This is 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Y'all. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10. It says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee." All right. It says, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that's what's coming to you so-called white people, man. You know, you got to pay for the sins of your forefathers.
So why is nobody talking about what's going on in North Carolina right now? Since we are so stuck on Texas, we're not talking about what's going on in North Carolina right now. On Sunday, June 6th, a tropical depression slammed through the Carolinas. Entire towns are now underwater. They got a month worth of rain in a single day. Roads are collapsing, rivers are overflowing, and thousands of people are without power. Please call your loved ones. There's something going on. Orange County and Moore County just declared a state of emergency. I'm pretty sure y'all ain't hear about that. It's places like Mabane, Chapel Hill, and Chatham County. They're getting hit with rain. And it's currently flash floods coming through. If you are in these areas, please be safe. Everybody, please repost this video, get it out so that people know that Texas is going through it and North Carolina as well. People are going to get hurt. This is not okay.
This is crazy. I know we're not Kerr County. I know we're not Kerrville. I know we're not San Angelo or San Antonio. But hell, we're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need. We are a older community. A lot of our people don't have insurance. They don't have money. Kind of a forgotten community for Travis County. We're unincorporated. We are their unwanted stepchildren out here, unfortunately. We had no warning. Nobody notified us. 2:30 in the morning, people that could get out came to this parking lot. Nobody was here. No firefighters, no police, nobody. We did not see Travis County sheriffs until 10 o'clock the next morning, who were rolling through and saying, you all need to evacuate. I opened a TikTok page, walking through HEB, buying non-perishable groceries, saying, we need help. Get me the media. Get me some official. Get me water. Get me anything we need, please. We have nothing. And I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I've had people stop me this morning and say, here's some more water, take it with you. Here's some more food, take it with you. Like, this is what we do out here as a community. But for God's sakes, Travis County, help us. Don't treat us like we're nothing out here, because we're not. We're human beings. We pay taxes out here. Don't treat us like this.
They have to look. That is part of the recovery, because I know there's bodies buried in there. There is a wall of about 30 to 40 vehicles all smashed together, and nobody's been able to get to that. We need so much help. I mean, I'm just don't understand why we have so many military bases in Texas with people there right now. Why couldn't they be here? They have to look. That is part of the recovery, because I know there's.
We continue to follow breaking news from McAllen, Texas. That's where a man showed up in tactical gear with a rifle and opened fire on a Border Patrol security outpost. In fact, there was an exchange of gunfire. More than 12 rounds were fired. We have now confirmed the shooter is dead. One officer was shot in the knee. We're told he's in stable condition and should be okay. But police so far have identified the man, 27-year-old Ryan Luis, apparently a man with a Michigan address and tags on his car. Inside that car, police found a backpack and other weapons inside. Right now, no motive being told to us.
Now, isn't this a strange headline from IsraelNationNews.com? As the West dies, Israel's future lies with rising Asia. Wow. The 77-year history of Israel's diplomatic alliances with the West appears to be ending. And increasingly, we see that we have disturbingly little in common with the dying West. So now they're going to try to be a parasite on Asia. Isn't that amazing? So the West was thriving until World War II, supposedly wins World War II, and then Israel becomes a leech on the West, sucks it dry, kills it, and says, oh, we've destroyed our host, it's time to find a new one. Isn't that amazing? What an admission. What an absolutely stunning admission.
Rain mixed with all this garbage and drains and stuff like that.
It's going to get nasty. It's going to get real nasty.
With several chances of rain this week, some are questioning what happens if garbage clogs drains, leading to more issues. We spotted a few examples on our drive today.
I hope that I can tell you it's going to cause flooding, and then when it get hot, it's going to cause diseases. It's going to cause infections. It's going to cause anybody around that area. It's going to, being around that area can make you sick. You know what I'm saying? You could die from things like that. And the thing is, people just not, for somebody, I think it's going to explain it later, but they're saying that you know, it's $1,800 a month to live. That's $60,000 a year or something like that. And they're only getting paid $45 to $46K, you know, for one person, you know what I'm saying, for him being able to live, you know, on his own. You know, he only getting about $46K. The bills is $60. So they need another $15,000, $20,000 just to live. And you know, the hoes nowadays, and the women, just gonna say hoes because most of them are, you know, the hoes and stuff like that, they not doing nothing like that, you know. They not trying to go work, or, you know, if they is, you know, a man not willing to put his trust enough on his woman or anything like that, even though the man is the head of the household. But, you know, it takes two, you know, and a lot of men not getting partners, so that make it harder for the younger generation and stuff like that. A lot of younger generations, you know, not dealing with women, so how are they supposed to live on their own? You know, you're going to work on the hamster wheel day in and day out just to barely even pay the bills. You're better off just going homeless or moving back to where you fucking came. You know, you're better off just going back either, you know, to your people's house, or if you could find a, you know, a decent apartment, and maybe you could stay there for a year or two and then move to something else. But the money isn't going up, the job services isn't going up, and Babylon is falling.
Mayor Parker, pays our sanitation
But this
workers.
can
I know
cause
they're some of the lowest paid
infections,
sanitation workers in the
diseases.
country.
Day 7 of the District Council 33 strike, and we saw more demonstrations at City Hall. Investigators arrested at least 3 protesters this morning for dumping trash and sitting in at the building.
Thank you.
Near C in Allegheny, another mess. This man stepping in mounds of garbage this afternoon.
Very sad situation. I feel for the mayor. I feel for the city workers.
Residents climbed on top of dumpsters, giving new meaning to taking out the trash nowadays. The nearby side street looked like a disaster as folks walk by the new norm in Philadelphia.
We will support you every single day until you win this race.
DC 33 held a rally today as well, as they look to talk over another counteroffer tomorrow with the city.
We're ready to negotiate, we're ready to sit down, and we'll stay around the clock if we need to, particularly if we know it's going in a progressive way.
I can only speak for us from the city, and we always...
We are District Council 33. That's right. That's right.
That's right. Surrounded by District Council 33 members Saturday, Union President Greg Boulware pledges to continue fighting for what he called their fair share.
Our members of District Council 33 make an average salary of $46,000 a year. The cost to live inside the city of Philadelphia for one single person is $60,000 a year, while the rent is also $1,800 per month. Our members do not make enough money to afford those costs.
Pay is part of the negotiation dispute between the City of Philadelphia and District Council 33. The union represents about 9,000 employees, ranging from sanitation workers to police dispatch, all prepared to strike 1 minute after midnight Tuesday if there is no deal on wages and healthcare benefits.
We recognize that the mayor has signed a 5% agreement with us just back in the fall, but we had to fight for that. We now are having to stand up and fight for more.
As an unapologetically pro-labor, pro-union, and pro-worker mayor, my administration is working with District Council 33.
In response Saturday, Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker took to social media to announce
Ain't enough money.
All bank transfers over $300 between individuals will require official justification through a federal platform. Listen closely. This new rule could affect millions of Americans. If you send more than $300 to a friend, family member, or even your partner, you'll need to declare the reason for the transfer on a secure online portal managed by the U.S. Treasury Department. Whether it's a gift, a repayment, or a personal loan, every transaction must include a clear explanation, or it will trigger an automatic review. According to a March 2025 announcement by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, This measure is designed to fight tax evasion, money laundering, and undeclared peer-to-peer transfers. Banks will be legally required to report any transfer over the threshold if no valid explanation is attached through the new reporting system. The data will be shared with the IRS and other.
Finding a new way to track you. So that's the last video with that. Give all praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash. And basically until next time, Shalom. My bad for the such a long video, but hey, it is what it is, man.